Assalamu Alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi Shrali Sadri, wa yassirli amri, walul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, Rabbi zidni ilma. Okay, now, how is everyone? Hope that you all are well, enjoying your learning. Okay, today we are going to solve one more scenario-based question, that is February-March 2023, paper 2-2. Hope that you have seen the other scenario-based questions and the other videos of papers 1 and 2. If not, then please do watch and share your opinion about it. Okay, now, before we proceed to the discussion of the question and how to solve the question, let's talk about one important thing, that the paper is of 1 hour 45 minutes, paper 2, and it is suggested that you finish your all the questions in 1 hour, and then you are going to spend the rest of the 45 minutes in comprehending the scenario-based question, attempting it, and follow the instructions which we are learning today. Very first thing that you all need to know is this 15-mark question is broken into basically it is broken into two components: assessment objective 2 and assessment objective 3. Fine. So how will you score? Actually, it's very, very simple if you really have learned how to score also. Fine. So what will you do here then? Very first thing that you can see here is basically your assessment objective 2 is basically maximum 9 marks. And you can score these 9 marks very easily if you are following the instructions, like you have used the programming techniques that are needed. For example, right selection statements, right iteration, counting, totaling as required, input and output also as needed. In case you have used the variables, you have used any of the variables, then definitely you are going to score 1 to 3 marks. In order to score 4 to 6 marks, what you need to use is you have applied the required technique and you have used the data structures appropriately. In order to score 9 out of 9, like in this assessment objective 2, what is required? What do the examiners check? All the criteria that is needed to be covered. You have taken care of all the programming techniques, and you have actually seen whatever is required. You have assessed whatever is required, and then you have solved your scenario-based question. The very first thing that we need to see is all criteria that is needed stated for the scenario have been covered by the use of appropriate programming techniques, which are selection. You have used the right selection statements. You have used the right iteration, the right counting or totaling, and the input and output as needed. You have covered each and everything in the right way. Only then you will be scoring 9 out of 9. Second thing is the data structures are going to store all the data that is required. Like that is also very important, that whichever data structures you have chosen, like the variables, the constants, the arrays, the lists in case of Python, they are storing the data as is required. So whichever are the requirements, we have fulfilled all of them, and only then the examiner will be giving you marks for assessment objective 2. Any ambiguity? Any questions before we proceed to the next one? Okay. No questions? Okay, now let's move on to assessment objective 3. This is basically of maximum 6 marks, and you can see for yourself that how will you score again. Very simple. You can score very easily if you have actually paid attention to these things, like you have used the proper commenting for each and every important thing that is required. You have used the identifiers with meaningful names. The program is in a logical order. The solution is accurate. Very important thing is the solution is accurate. It is meeting all the requirements without without any major mistakes. And it is again performing all the tasks as are required in the scenario. So if you have actually followed all these requirements, like you have fully commented your scenario-based question, and you have used the suitable identifiers, the program is following a logical order, very important thing. And then, like for example, input and output. definitely we take inputs first, and then processing is done in the middle, and then output is in the end. So if you have followed the right path, then only your program is in a logical order and you'll be scoring marks. The solution is accurate and you are performing all the requirements, you have not left anything, then also you will be scoring 6 out of 6. So actually, the maximum marks are going to be scored by you very easily if you have paid attention to these minor things. Again, no creditable response means 0 marks. 1 or 2 marks are going to be awarded when program seen without relevant comments, but you have used maybe some of the data structures that you have used are containing the meaningful names. The solution is inaccurate in many places. The solution attempts at least one of the requirements. So then you are going to score 1 to 2 marks. On the contrary, 3 to 4 marks are going to be scored by students who are using some relevant comments. The majority of the identifiers are appropriately named. That is why we are after you that variables should be containing meaningful names. The solution contains parts that may be illogical, like a few parts may be illogical. The solution contains parts that are inaccurate, like maybe some of the lines of codes are containing some errors and some are not containing any errors at all. So in that case, you will be awarded 3 to 4 marks. And solution meets most of the requirements that you are containing the lines of code that are going to perform most of the tasks that are required by the examiner. So if you are following these instructions, then definitely you will be able to score 3 to 4 marks. But definitely your target should be that in AO3, you're going to score 6 marks. And in assessment objective 2, you are going to score 9 marks. That should be your objective. Okay. Try your level best, and inshallah, you will be able to manage. Okay, now let's move on to the analysis of the question. This is the question. The 1D array team name contains the names of teams in a sports league. The 2D array team points contains the points awarded for each team, contains the points awarded for each match. The position of each team's data in the two arrays is the same. For example, the team stored at index 10 in team name and team points is the same, as you can see. Just for the purpose of making you comprehend some imaginary team names, and imagine, like, they're not imaginary exactly. They are actually some team that are existing. So just to make us comprehend, we have just designed a sample data structure so that we can understand that how the work will be done. So team points contains the points awarded for each match. The position of each team's data in the two arrays is the same. For example, the team stored at index 10 in team name and team points is the same. As you can see here, Manchester United is stored at location 10 in both the arrays. Any questions? Okay, you can keep your own, the names of your own favorite teams, no worries at all, but I've just taken a few of the topmost teams at the moment, fine? Now, the variable league size contains the number of teams in the league. Now, this is very important. You need to see that what is required actually here. You can see for yourself that the arrays, the league size, this is the thing that we need to see. The league size contains the number of teams in the league. The variable matchNo contains the number of matches played, the number of matches. As you can see, these are the two variables that are given to me, and I have to use them as they are. Contains the number of matches, like it can be 10, it can be 15, it can be like depending upon different cases, the number of matches can be a variable also. Contains the number of matches played. All teams have played the same number of matches. Like it can be the same number of matches. Just for the purpose of simplicity, we have done it this way, that all the teams are playing the same number of matches in their league, fine. The arrays and variables have already been set up and data stored. Again, something that is given to me, so that I don't have to worry at all about the setting up of the data structures or the storage of the data at all. It's already done for me. Each match can be played at home or away. Now, this is what we need to understand. Each match can be played at home or it can be played away. Points are recorded for the match results for each team with the following values. Now here you can see, this is what the criteria is. In case they are, in case there is an away win, they are going to be awarded 3 points. A home win means 2 points, a drawn match means 1 point, and a lost match means definitely a 0 point. Fine. I think this is something that is understandable also, but a change that has been observed, you can see here, is away win means that you are going to score 1 mark, 1 point extra. Fine. Like if the one team is going to some other team's location and it's playing at their location, it's not playing at the home ground, then it is going to score 3 marks in case they have won the away match also. Write a program that meets the following requirements. And what are the requirements? Calculates the total points for all matches for each team. This is your first requirement. So you can mark it as requirement 1, and then you can see calculates the total points. By the way, when you read the term total points for all matches played by each team. Now you can see this is the scenario. Like, for example, assume that Arsenal has maybe 10 matches, or maybe it has played 5 matches. Just make it simple that Arsenal has played 5 matches. Similarly, the same number of matches will be played by Chelsea, same with Liverpool, Manchester United, and the number of teams in the league is determined by the variable league size. Any issues? Are we clear? So total points for all the matches played by each team. Then this is what is going to be calculated first. By the way, if you pay attention to the words, what strikes your mind? Which technique? Exactly, total points, exactly, totaling, exactly. Counts the total number of away wins, home wins, drawn matches, and lost matches. So you can see, counts. Now, this strikes your mind, it will be a +1 situation, isn't it? And +1 for what? Away win, in case they have won the matches away, it will be +1 for that variable. Home wins, +1, drawn matches, +1, and lost matches also +1. So in this manner, you can identify that this is going to be your requirement 2 that will be handled through your counting. After we are done with these two, what is the next requirement? Outputs for each team: name, total points, total number of away wins, home wins, drawn matches, and lost matches. So this is the requirement. I need to mention the name of the team. Like assume that the team is Chelsea. So the number of the name will be of Chelsea, the total points that they have gained, then the total number of away wins, home wins, drawn matches, or the lost matches. They all will be displayed for the team Chelsea. And then it will be Arsenal, Liverpool. So one by one, every team's name, its total points, and the total number of away wins or home wins or whatever is going to be there, that will be displayed for each team. Fine. Finds and output the name of the team with the highest total points. Again, you can see highest, and then find and output the name of the team with the lowest total points. So it means in this question, they've actually covered the 2D array, the 1D array, the concepts of counting, totaling, maximum, and minimum. So all the 4 major concepts that we have learned are going to be applied here. Find any issues? I hope that you all can recall, but the only change is now it's a 2D array, so it means that that will be handled through a nested loop. Exactly, this one, alhamdulillah, that you people remember. Now you must use pseudocode or program code and add comments to explain how your code works. Now this is what, either you use pseudocode or you use program code, any of the programming languages that you are well versed with, like for example Python, or like Python normally is used by the students. So you can write the program using the program code also. But again, suggestion is be very cautious with each and everything if you're writing the program in Python or any of the programming language. You do not need to declare any arrays, variables, or constants. You may assume that this has been already done for you. Now, this is for those that have already been discussed. Now, remember, if you are actually using some variables of your own and you want to initialize them, etc., then this will be your task. Fine. All inputs and outputs must contain suitable messages. Very important thing that is already being told, that proper prompts. You're not going to simply say output, for example, away win. If away win is your variable, you'll have to talk about that. What is this variable denoting? So that is again told. This is what you should be considering when you are writing the pseudocode or the program code. You do not need to initialize the data in the arrays team name and team points or the variables leagueSize and matchNo. Already told to you, you can use them as they are. Any issues? Okay, it seems an exciting topic. Fine, that's wonderful because of you people being football lovers. Okay, that's great, wonderful. May we move ahead? Okay, now let's move on to what will we do next. Any issues with anything that is not clear? Okay. Now, data structures required, you can see team name, team points, total points is something that we have taken extra. That isn't there, but we need it. That's why we have taken an array. I mean, up to you. You want to use an array, you don't want to use an array. Both options are possible, but then in that case, you need to initialize. leagueSize and matchNo, the requirements are calculate total points for all matches played by each team. And for that, you need nested iteration and totaling concept counts and outputs which the teams with the team's name for each team, the total number of away wins, home wins, drawn matches, and lost matches. And again, you need nested iteration, counting, and output. Then requirement 3 is finds and output the name of the team with the highest number of points and the name of the team with the lowest number of points. Again, for that, you need output and you need selection. Fine. Now let's move to the solved area. As you can see, the same 3 arrays are taken here. You can see team name that is containing the values from 1 till leagueSize, total points, and the third one is team points. So this total points is something that we have taken here extra, which wasn't there, just to score the total points scored by each team separately. Fine. So this is the requirement that we have done. Total points by Arsenal, total points by Chelsea, total points by Liverpool. All the teams, their total points are going to be stored just for making you comprehend. That's why they're mentioned in the same order as they are present in the main team name. Fine. Now you can see we have to use some variables of our own, and you can see the first variable that we are using here, the first identifier that we are using here, and the meaningful identifier names and appropriate data structures to store the data required is discussed in this part. And you can see declare team counter integer, declare match counter integer. This is the requirement because I have to work on a nested loop. Remember this is what we have learned, that whenever we are talking about a 2D array, we work on a nested loop. Now you can see first thing is we are actually initializing 0 totals for each of the club results. So what are we doing is we are initializing this total points variable, this array with a value of 0. Remember that the same thing, total is initialized with a 0. So since this total is actually an array, so that is why the whole array will be initialized with 0. Fine. So total points array is initialized. Each location of total points array is initialized with 0. One by one. First time the value of team counter is 1, assuming that we have 12 teams in the league. So 1 till 12 loop will work. And you can see total points array will be storing the value, will be initialized with the value 0 for each of the 10 locations in the beginning, the way we initialize the total variable. Remember? Okay, we remember that we have, can we quickly recall total variable initialized with 0? What about counting variable? Exactly, that's also initialized with the 0. So here you can see the reason is only because since we are not using total as a simple variable, we are using total points as an array. That's why we have initialized the 0 in this manner. Fine. Are there any questions, Beta? I hope that you are clear about it, isn't it? Now let's move on to for team count equals to 1 to leagueSize, and then away win NO equals to 0, home win NO equals to 0, drawn NO equals to 0, lost NO equals to 0. So we have initialized 4 variables with 0 to perform the counting phase, the one that we have talked about. So this counting phase will be handled with the help of this away win, home win, draw NO, and lost NO. These are the 4 variables initialized with 0. Understood this first phase? Now let's move on to the actual phase. I have started team counter, so 1 to league size. So it means team counter will hold maybe 1 to 12. I have total of 12 teams. For the first team, what are we doing is that, like, for example, this is first team is Arsenal, for example. Now, for match count equals to 1 to match NO, assume that match NO is again, assume just for the purpose of simplicity, we are making it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just for the purpose of simplicity, fine? So it means here you can see match counter equals to 1 to match NO. And what are we doing? We are actually, since the data is stored, we are told the data is already stored. So we are simply storing the total points. Team counter equals to total points team counter plus. Now this is again the same. Total equals to total plus. Remember, we have learned total equals to total plus and the new value. So this new value will be actually taken from this location. So this is your 1, comma 1. So this is 1, comma 1. This is 1, comma 2. This is 1, comma 3. This is 1, comma 4. And this is 1, comma 5. So in this manner, when the data is actually like we are computing, we are calculating the total points for the team Arsenal. So the first point, that what the value right now is 0. So 0 plus whatever the points are present here. Maybe the points are 2 here. So 0 plus 2 will be 2. So that will be stored in this location. Fine. Then like team points, total points will hold this. Then second time, the next match is going to be played, then that will be done. In this manner, we are going to perform this for all the 5 matches played by Arsenal. And after that, what are we checking is we are simply checking case of, with the help of case of, you can do it with if also, perfectly okay. Case of team points and team counter, comma match counter. Like what is it? Where is it? What is the value here? If it's 3, it means we are going to away win equals to away win NO plus 1. If it's 2, then home win NO equals to home win NO plus 1. If the team points is 1, then it will be draw NO equals to draw NO plus 1. Otherwise, it will be, in case if it's a 0, then it will be lost NO equals to lost NO plus 1. Okay? So case of and end case is just needed here to handle the away NO, away win NO, home win NO, draw NO, and lost NO variables. And once we are done with all the values for the team Arsenal, then it will be for the second team. Any issues? Yes, are we clear? Any issues with this? We go through this quickly, giving you 2 minutes, and then we'll proceed to the next part. Dear children, are you able to comprehend the working of this whole thing? The first team, Arsenal, its match points are going to be calculated for all the values, the total points equal to total points plus this what we have done. So since this total point is an array, that's why we have used the substrate number team counter, location number 1 equals to location number 1 plus, and the value will be obtained from team points. So this is what is done here. And then we are simply checking the team points value. And then we are just deciding that is it an away win, or is it a home win, or is it a drawn match, or is it a lost match? So in this manner, we are going to assign, or you can say we are going to perform the counting of by +1 for each situation that is being met. Any issues? So after we are done with this one, then the second value will be matched for the Arsenal match, for the Arsenal team, then third, then fourth, and then fifth. So in this manner, one by one, all the matches played by Arsenal will be taken into account, and the total points will be updated, as well as the team points will also be updated. Okay, understood? Based on the team points, the variables that are there for away win or home win or drawn matches or lost matches will be updated. So once we are done with team Arsenal, what are we supposed to do? Simply the output of the details. So that's what you can see: output team, comma, team name, team counter. Since it is team counter 1, that's why right now Arsenal's name will be printed, will be displayed on the screen, output the total points of again the team Arsenal, the away win matches, the home wins matches, and the drawn matches, and the lost matches. All the details about the team Arsenal will be displayed on the screen. Fine. Are you clear? Any issues for the team Arsenal? All the values are being displayed. Now let's move on to, we are done with a few requirements. Now the last requirement was to find out the highest and the lowest. Now what is done here? You can see this is a little bit of the strategy that we have learned in the class also, that we are simply assigning, if team counter equals to 1, then highest result equals to total points of team counter, as well as lowest result will be equal to total points of team counter. It means that whichever the total points of the team are, in the first go, if the team counter value is 1, if it's this first team, then this first team's results will be stored in the highest result as well as the lowest result. Now remember, this is what the strategy that we have also learned in the class in order to find out the highest and the lowest. So this is again perfectly okay. We have applied it this way, perfectly okay. So whichever first team's results are, like assume the highest result and the lowest result, they both will be holding team Arsenal's total points in the two variables. Fine, because that's the first team. And if you see, if total points team counter is greater than highest result, then highest result equals to total points of team counter, or top team equals to team counter. So in this manner, you can do it further. But right now, since this is the first team, that's why nothing else will be actually happening in this case. And then we are taken to next counter, which takes me to this. And then my next team, Chelsea's turn, will come. Are we clear? Because this was the data that we have talked about the team Arsenal. That's where all the details about team Arsenal will be displayed. Since this is the first team, that's why the details of the of Arsenal team's total points will be stored as the highest as well as the lowest. Now let's move on to the second team, Chelsea, when the team counter's value is now 2. Now you can see, since we are now working on the second team, that's why all these 4 variables should be reinitialized. Remember that although we have learned exactly that, now that's really wonderful that you can recall that since now the teams, now it's the second team's turn, so definitely it should be initialized once again. So now it can start from the beginning. Now's the time for Chelsea. It will again, for match count equals to 1 to matchNo, which is 5. Again, the total points will be calculated in the same manner as we have done it for Arsenal. Again, the same manner we'll calculate that whether the team points is an away win or a home win, or is a drawn match or a lost match. And in this manner, we'll simply perform accounting with the help of case of. We have handled it little, I can say, more, I can say, if efficiently. I mean, you can use if also, perfectly okay. Yes, I said it's perfectly okay that you can use if also. But here we have used case, And in this manner, we have handled the situation of away or away wins or home wins or drawn matches or the lost matches for the team Chelsea's first match. Similarly, for the team Chelsea's second match, Team Chelsea's third match, Team Chelsea's fourth match, Team Chelsea's fifth match. So in this manner, once this loop is over for the second team of Chelsea, then definitely its total points are going to be stored in this array. This is the array for this is the array location for Arsenal. This is the array location for Chelsea's. All these details will be stored here, and we have actually moved to this area to display the values for the team Chelsea. Now, team Chelsea, so on second location, its total points will be displayed. Its away wins, its home wins, its drawn matches, its lot matches. So in this manner, all the details of the team Chelsea will be displayed on the screen after Arsenal. Now, you can see, now team counter is not 1, so definitely it won't move here in this situation. And now you can see it is going to move here. And it will be moving here, and this one will not be considered in this case. It will be now here. Total points, assume the total points for Arsenal were maybe 10, and the total points for Chelsea were, for example, 9. So now you can see, assume, just an example that I'm quoting right now, assume that total points for Arsenal were 10, and the total points for this Chelsea were 9. So since the beginning, in the beginning, the highest result and the lowest result were holding 10. This is what we have done because of Arsenal being in the beginning, in the first position right now in the array. So now you can see if it moves down here, total points of team counter means second. Total points of team counter is actually 9. And 9 is greater than highest result was 10. Is the condition true? Yes. Can you see, is the condition true? Highest result is holding this. Yes, is the condition true or false? 9 is greater than 10. 9 is greater than 10. Condition is false. So it won't change the highest result, but total points are 9 and 9 is less than 10. The condition is now true. So now what will happen? The lowest result will now be holding 9 and the bottom team will now be 2. In this manner, right now, since comparison was made between Arsenal, the first team, and Chelsea, the second team, and right now Arsenal is the top team, and Chelsea has become the lowest result team, the bottom team. So in this manner, once the loop is over for the second team, then you can see for yourself that the highest result and the highest result and the lowest result are definitely updated. Are you clear? And now it's the turn of Liverpool and other teams one by one. So all the teams' data will be stored, will be done, and displayed for each team. And once we are done with all the 12 teams in my league, then the last thing that is supposed to be done is I have to output the names of the teams with the highest and the lowest number of points. So simply output top team, team name, top team. So top team is definitely going to hold, assume that any team, like up to your choice. I'm not actually giving you any name. You can assume any name that was the top team that was held in the variable top team, and the variable bottom team was holding the team that has scored the least number of points. So in this manner, once the loop is over, then these two names will be displayed. And in this manner, you can see for yourself all the 12 teams in my league. Their details are shown on the screen one after the other. After that, once the whole thing is over, then the top scorer and the least scorer will be shown on the screen. Are we clear? Any issues? Anything that is unclear? Anything that is creating any problem for you? Okay, you enjoyed this topic. Okay, this one, wonderful. I really enjoyed this also when I was solving this question. Okay, that's great. If you have no queries, Jazakallah khairan kasira for being a part of the learning journey. If you have liked my videos, subscribe my channel, share with your friends and family, and do not forget to click on the bell icon so you are getting the latest updates of all the new videos that are available. And besides this, become a part of the Facebook group so that you can get the latest updates from there also. Share with your friends and family, please. And keep me in your prayers. If you want me to make the video on any topic, do share so that I will be able to know what your requirements are. Take very good care of yourselves and your loved ones. Allah Hafiz.